Greetings, Mount Vernon. This is Dr. Darren Morton, your city comptroller. I'm coming to you once again with a financial update for the city of Mount Vernon. We've just released the first quarter 2023 financial report. It is available for pickup here in the finance office, or you may also retrieve it on the city's website. I want to give you some highlights. First of all, in this first quarter, we had $45.8 million of revenue, and our expenditures were $42.3 million, leaving, of course, a net income of $3.5 million. Now, you need to know that there are some major expenditures, of course, that were incurred during this quarter. Our top expenditures for this quarter are salaries, which is $14.3 million, and our retirement, which is $13.1 million, followed by, of course, our health and dental costs, which is $6.7 million. The cost for the city as it pertains to its expenditures in the first quarter are heavy as it pertains to our retirement, because we pay New York State in February all of the amount that is due for the year. That amount is based upon our salaries, staffing for the previous year. We look forward to the second half of this year, as we will also receive our second installment of our city property taxes that will help us to continue to operate the city's services and programs throughout this year. You also should take note in this report that our liabilities have changed significantly. Last quarter, we reported that there was $48.6 million in liabilities. And this quarter, we are reporting $35 million. And so we are down about approximately $13 million in our liabilities. Now, you know that that number, of course, fluctuates, because as we continue to move through our operation, we often find that there are some additional liabilities that the city has incurred. As you know, that after the quarter ended, there also was a judgment against the city, a court order related to the Kayla tennis case that amounts to a little over $15 million. You will not see that on this report because it occurred after the close of this quarter. The ARP money, which is the federal money provided for COVID to assist us, we are halfway through the expenditures for that. We received $41.1 million. And to date, we have remaining in that $20.5 million. As you know, the city council and the mayor have approved a budget for that. And most of that money is already earmarked for things that are in accordance with the federal rules. It is important for us to understand that when we hear $20.5 million, we don't think that that's money that just can be used for anything. In fact, there are 6 specific categories in which this money can be used, and the city has used it wisely. We are continuously recalibrating what are the needs for the city based upon what we hear from each and every one of you. So your first quarterly report is available for you here in the office, as well as on the city's website, www.cmvny.com. You will also find that there will be a second quarter report that will come out shortly after the second quarter ends on June 30th of this year. In addition to that, there will also be a financial update, a state of the city's finances that I will give, and that will be a oral report to you, giving you kind of a more comprehensive view of where we are financially. In addition to the finances of the city, I want to talk a little bit about the taxes and property tax. You all received your first bill from us earlier this year, and we informed you then that we would give you a second installment notice. So over the next few weeks, you're going to receive a second installment reminder. This is not an additional tax. It is just reminding you of what your second half of your city property taxes are. In addition to that, if you have not paid your county taxes for this year, which was due on April 30th, please make sure that you do that immediately. You don't want to incur any additional interest or penalties on those taxes as well. Speaking of taxes and arrears, several of you may have received notices from my office about your taxes being in arrears from prior to 2021. It is imperative that you get into this office to correct those arrears as we are beginning the tax foreclosure process. Within the next few weeks, the City Council will receive a listing from me as it pertains to those that are still outstanding, as well as those that have requested a payment plan. We are working diligently with our City Council to come up with ways in which we can ensure that you stay in your home, but also that you also are able to pay whatever taxes that are outstanding. And so it is more important for you to get into the office and talk with us about where you are and what you could potentially do in order to solve these arrears. The last thing I want to talk to you about is also the city properties. Many of you have asked for a list of city properties. City properties that list will be coming out shortly. We have had a difficult time trying to cull that down, but we have now completed our appraisals of each of the properties that we do own and the lands. And so therefore, you will be able to see that list. It will be on the website as well. But in the meantime, if you have any interest in any property that you know that we own, you should send a letter to the real estate committee. Mount Vernon, I am pleased to tell you that we are moving forward. We are completing our audits. We have just completed a draft of our annual financial statement for 2016 for the State Comptroller's Office. And we know that we will continue to move through that. So if there are any questions that you have for my office or for me, please do not hesitate to reach out. I can be reached at comptroller@cmvny.com. You can call our office at 914-665-2304 or 2442. Again, you can also access your taxes at www.infotaxonline.com. Thank you once again, Mount Vernon, for partnering with me as we continue to move Mount Vernon forward and to make us a financially sovereign community. Have a great day.